Dusty Shell, director with Usborne Books More, here to share with you books all about gardens. It's a great time of year. The spring's just starting. Maybe you plant your own garden, or maybe you want to learn how, but we have great books for children who are interested in this. First, we have our How Flowers Go beginner's hardback book. These are nonfiction books for beginning readers. They use real photography and illustrations to teach all about a singular subject, this one, focusing on how flowers start as a seed, turn into sprouts, animals that might come and eat what grows off of them, and all kinds of information for them to learn about how flowers grow. And in the same vein, we have this Lift the Flap questions and answers book for younger children about the same topic, and this one's really fun because it includes flaps. Like, check this one out, and how this flower has the 4 different flaps here that they can lift up to see the full flower. Or they can ask questions: do plants need food? And they lift the flap. It says yes, they make their own food in their leaves using light from the sun. And every page has multiple flaps with questions so that they can learn all this information about how flowers grow big and what they need for survival and so on. PopUp Garden. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous book. I love it. It's beautiful. When you open the pages, you get these fun little pop-ups to go along with your story. And let me show you my favorite one. This is my favorite. See the butterfly. So this is really fun to kids. This one shows the garden itself and the lily pad. Lots and lots of fun in here. Another Lift the Flap book, Peek Inside the Garden. Also a nonfiction book, has little fun Peekaboo Spots, has bigger flaps for the little hands, and also teaches about the bugs in the garden. See, it says, what's under Ladybug's spotted back? And then they pull down her little shell, and it says wings, and then they get to see those. And every page has at least 2 or 3 flaps and more questions for them to learn all about the residents in a garden and some of the plants there as well. Garden Sounds is a sound book, but it's not as agitating as some other children's noisy books because the sounds are really actually quite relaxing. So here it's talking about the sun rising over the garden and the birds starting to sing, and then you push this little spot and you get to hear the pretty bird sounds. Every page has more, and you can see the different spots. See? It doesn't take a lot of pressure to trigger them either. Too Many Tomatoes is a book from one of my favorite authors, Eric Odie. If you're familiar with his book, Dan the Taxi Man, or Busy Trucks That Go, that we also carry, that's him. And this is about a family who plants tomatoes in their garden. A grandfather and grandma, they plant tomatoes in their garden, and their garden turns out to be very fruitful, and they end up with too many tomatoes. They don't know what to do with it, and so they decide to share their bounty with their community. And it's just a great book about sharing and being a good neighbor. That's really fun for kids to read and learn a lesson as well. We have Secrets of the Vegetable Garden, which is one of our Shine a Light books, which means you need to have a flashlight handy to really showcase it. It's a picture book, but is nonfiction. So they see the page and they get to read the story, and then every page you get to use a flashlight or hold it up to a window with bright light or something of the sort. Let me get my little phone flashlight and I'll show. See, and when you shine behind, can you see how the water just showed up that's coming out of the watering can? And every page has a fun surprise like that. So they get to read, and then they get to break out their flashlight, and every kid loves flashlights, see? And then you can see the spider. So super fun interactive book for them. And finally, if you have a child that actually wants to plant their own garden, which I highly recommend, it's a great lesson in work ethic and patience and how, agriculture works. We have Gardening for Beginners, and it's got all sorts of ideas. Even if you're an adult and you've never done it before and you want to give it a try, it walks you through step by step what you need to start, the materials you need, various plants to use and how to plant them and how to deal with them and handle them. Everything you can imagine to get yourself started is right here in this great book, which is a fabulous resource. So I hope you saw something that you really enjoyed, and you can start your own garden soon.